Hey everyone, and welcome to what I intended to be a little funny show when I started doing it, my hot takes from the Anties side, because they have so many stupid takes that I thought I could do a show on it when I have nothing else. Then I kind of turned it into depression TV because I read all of their text and I get depressed because of the viciousness and the hatefulness on that side, especially because they never ever have any proof for what they are saying. Today, it's going to be a special favorite FBI agent of all time show because, as you know, one of the loudest mouth on the other side is Miss CaffyDaffy, the greatest FBI agent since Elliot Ness, who wasn't even an FBI agent. The lady who showed up in FOIA requests where people should talk to her because of her big social media outreach. The woman who claims that she is one of the best FBI agents ever, but have never ever pointed to one piece of evidence that proves Karen Read is guilty. Instead, she spends her time sitting with crusty panties doing the live stream. Hey, I have great people slumming it with me as well. But if you are on a live stream with the human thumb, crusty panties, and that weirdo who laughed about underage, then I'm not thinking you're batting 100 on popularity. I wouldn't be too proud of that. Again, I'm grateful that some people will slum it with me now and again, but you are co-hosting with some of the most vile, despicable people in the Karen Read case. People who are known liars. I read Plevin's shitty book. People who do whatever they can to get a little bit of the moolah, but you're the one who calls the other side out because we get a few super chats now and again. And the new low point and why I made this video, because I kind of stopped doing these hot takes because it made me mad more than it made me laugh. She shared this post yesterday. Sunday night game show time. Which one is a parody? A murder defendant and her lawyer shopping for goodies, including 2 bottles of Grey Goose vodka in their off time, or Karen Read having her own line of vodka. And the appropriate hashtags, photo credit, Julie Carr. For those of you who don't know Julie Carr, go to church and thank God for not knowing it. Video credit, Tony B. Pot. These are the 2 things she linked. As you can see, AJ and Karen out here drinking or buying alcohol again. Remember, these are the same people who will tell you that AJ, a married man with kids, is banging Karen Read, is also banging Melanie Little. I think they tried out at some point. He went to a hotel with Melanie Little or something. These people are some of the most vile people on the planet who will lie about everything as long as it's for the greater good. I read you the entire post. I showed you the pictures. Did she at any point claim this wasn't real? I have this stone face thing. So when I do sarcasm, I do it really well because my face doesn't move that much. That's why I have been asked if I could just put a hashtag S or jokes. So I will now tag everything I do for comedy with something, making sure that people know it's not true. But none of that was in CaffyDaffy's. And when people are calling her out, what kind of parody don't you understand? Well, first of all, mush for brains. If you're talking about parody, you should be talking about the pew pew instructions you gave with a lady who couldn't put her groupings together and she was off target, and you sold it like, oh, it's so great, I'm such a good instructor. No, you're really bad at it. And at least your clients didn't get anywhere near the bullseye, or they're keeping their groupings together. But hey, you are just the greatest FBI agent in history, right? But you're putting this out there without a disclaimer when you know that there has been doctored pictures and videos before. Then you do it because you want to feed that lie. You want to be there and say, oh, AJ and Karen is doing it. AJ is providing Karen with alcohol. This is a story that she was out of court last week because she was hungover. I bet you think that's reasonable to put on social media. You're always sitting here claiming that you are a higher authority. How come a shitty baker who does whatever he does for, yeah, let's be honest, we like to be bigger. Tell your friends about us. How come I have more integrity than a former federal agent? Isn't that horrible to think of? How can these people, and I know it's a few people, and I know they're miserable people, how can they live with themselves? If I thought Karen Read was guilty, I would say it. I'd fight my own chat, but I would base it off of something. How can you sit with no evidence? You are a former Fed. You claim to be a great one. How can you sit and constantly lie? Well, because remember FOIA request showing someone said, reach out to her. She has a great social media reach. Top 10 reasons why I can't wait for the Read trial to be over. Tired of all the dissent in the true crime community. There is no dissent in the true crime community. 95% of the true crime community is in agreement. You are the 5%. You are the dissenters. Sometimes it's good to be the dissenter. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes you're just a shill for the state. There is no dissent. And I know people say, oh, true crime. I don't care. Call it whatever you want. I am a true crimer. I'm a stream trooper, true crime trooper, whatever you call it. I don't care. But there's no dissent. Every poll on every channel shows that your position is the minority. So the dissent is made by you witch. Tired to explain the third-party culprit. Yeah, then don't do it. Just explain to us how Karen Read can be guilty of something that's not proven. Tired of listening to Alessi. I get it. You don't like listening to smart people doing to the Commonwealth's witnesses what the Vikings did to the British women. But he's been doing that. He is everything that you want in a defense lawyer. But I can understand how you don't like him, because he has murdered every single witness he has cross-examined. Tired of watching Karen Read's courtroom antics. Oh, yeah, when you claimed that her doing this was her giving the finger to a witness that's positioned up there. Why you always lying? Why you always lying? You're such a disingenuous hack. Tired of reading all the dribble for those who haven't watched the trial but pretend they have. I know I had a hard time reading Plevin's book as well. It's dribble. I would even call it slow and French dribble. Tired of the podcaster flushing truth for viewerships. I think you're thinking about YouTubers. Podcasters don't really have views. It's more an audio thing. But who's flushing the truth for views? Again, what show are you on? The show that's constantly making up stories. Hey, Biatch, who's the one who shared lies today and called it parody when you were called out on it? Because you are such a vindictive little witch. That's you. You should be tired of yourself, tired of the blogger's filthy mouth and lies. So Aiden has now reached Voldemort state in the Anties' mind. He is the blogger. How pathetic are you? Aiden, a man who sits in his office and has a network who will give him scoops, then he looks into stories. A man that broke the Karen Reed story is running circles around the greatest FBI agent in history. Bless good old Edgar Hoover's dead body, because it must be spinning faster than, I don't know, in its grave, that you put the moniker FBI in your Twitter handle. You're an embarrassment to anyone who ever put on the badge. Tired of watching the fan? Hey, I love my fans. Tired of a simple Occam's razor domestic violence case being made into Cecil B. DeVille Drama Fest? Well, it's not a simple DV, because you are on the side that claims that John O'Keefe was hit by a car without any injuries. You are a lying sack of potatoes that's been through a horse. Number 10, tired of watching a spoiled one continue to mock. Watch a spoiled one continue to mock the passing of a wonderful soul named John O'Keefe. So am I. Because that's what you're doing. You're mocking the legacy of John O'Keefe when you are willfully lying, when you're putting up doctored pictures of Karen Reed just to try and get a little bit of fame. You, Miss CaffyDaffy, porch pirate, the one who constantly sits and puts out filth on your social media because you're such a small person, such a small-minded person. I hope, because you forgot to put parody in there, that you'll catch a trial down the road. I always complain there's too many too many lawyers in America. Oh my God. I wish you were one of the next ones who got a defamation lawsuit against you, because you didn't put parody in there when you said that Karen Reed was out drinking with her lawyer or buying Grey Goose with her lawyer. You never do that. You never, ever put it in there that it's parody. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, but I could laugh my fat ass off if you caught a defamation suit. Big guy, I don't ask you for much. And you viewers, I don't ask you for much, but never be a CaffyDaffy.